Guys, I am starting this Revelation study first reading from uh, Isaiah 19 because I think this is very relevant to where I'm going with this. It says, "The border of Egypt, behold, the Lord ride upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved, and the presence of the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And the waters shall fall from the sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up, and they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of the fence shall be emptied and dried up, and the reeds and flags shall wither, and the paper reeds, by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. The fishes shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brooks shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave networks, shall be confounded, and they shall be broken in the purpose thereof, and that make sluices and ponds for fishes. Now, before I go on, I want to define sluices for you. And in the dictionary I got here, it says an artificial passage of water, as in a mild stream, filtered a valve or gate for stopping or regulating flow, a body of water pent behind floodgate. Now, in electronics engineering, we call gates, AND gates, NAND gates, exclusive OR gates, you name it. But, electricity is also a flow of current. So let's keep that in mind as we go on. Okay, number 11. Surely the princes of Zion, O fools, the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaohs is become brutish. How say you, unto the Pharaohs, I am the son of the wise, the son of the ancient kings? Where are they? Where are the wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what the Lord of hosts has purposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zoan are become fools, and the princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are stay of the tribe thereof. The Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunkard man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the land of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Every one that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he has determined against it. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak a language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction. In that day shall they be an altar of the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and the pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. And it shall be for a sign and a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt for the city, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. And the Lord shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day, and shall do sacrifice, oblation, yea, they shall vow unto the Lord and perform it. And the Lord shall smite Egypt, and shall smite and heal it, and they shall return even to the Lord, and he shall be entreated of them, and shall heal them. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrians shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptians into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. In that day shall Israel be third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I know it's a long read, but it's going somewhere with that. Next time, I'm going to show a break where I'm going to show a little video here. And I want you to keep in mind the Hungarian dialectic, because Albert Pike was the founder of the KKK. The Third Reich was nothing but a puppet for the Zionists to have Christians killing Christians. Remember that as you watch this propaganda video, as they try and talk about anti-Semitism when the real Semites are the Caucasians.
Some people don't want to hear this, but being anti-Christian is being anti-white. This is not about religion or if Christianity is true or not. One does not have to believe in Christianity in order to be pro-white, but being against Christianity and publicly advocating against it is a whole other matter. National Socialists in Germany understood this. They firmly rebuked those who criticized Christianity and would kick them out of the party. They declared themselves a Christian party and tolerated other religious thought as long as it was culturally or morally in line with Christian values. Their official party platform read, It is not possible to state on this subject more than a very few leading principles in the space of a program. That has already been done. For the rest, it must be our principle not to drag questions of religion into statements on general politics, although we may well treat the corrupting influence of the secret doctrines of Judaism as an object for public statements and attacks. The same applies to all the stupid attacks on Christianity. Expressions such as "Christianity has only done harm" merely show that the man who says them has neither human nor political intelligence. One may well blame the Church for meddling in politics, and good Christians will disapprove the cruelties practiced in the name of the cross by the Inquisition and trials for witchcraft. But it is wrong to abuse in general terms the greatest phenomenon in human history for the mistakes and depravities of individuals. The Christian religion has raised and edified millions and millions and brought them to God by the way of suffering. The culture of the Middle Ages stood up in the sign of the cross. Achievement, sacrifice, courageous faith have their roots in Christianity. Thus, we must be careful to distinguish the inner spiritual kernel of Christianity from the various forms of cancerous growth which have appeared upon it in its passage through history. Our party stands on the basis of positive Christianity. The anti-white part of being anti-Christian comes from the fact that the Jews are the ones who instigated these attacks. The Jews made Christianity the focus of their wrath. Attacking Christianity is literally doing the Jews' bidding, and that makes you a traitor to the white race. What did the communist Jews do when they took over Russia? Destroy the churches, murder priests, and outlaw Christianity. What did the communist Jews do in Spain during the Spanish Civil War? Murder priests, burn down churches, and rape nuns. Why did the Jewish pornographer Al Goldstein say they were so heavily involved in pornography? It is because they hate Christianity so much. Time and again, attacks on Christianity and its values comes from the Jewish anti-white left. Siding with them makes you a traitor. The protocols of the learned elders of Zion spelled out the Jews' playbook for the 20th century, and they read like history. In Protocol 4, they say, "This is the reason why it is indispensable for us to undermine all faith, to tear out of the minds of the Goyim the very principle of Godhead and the Spirit." Protocol 14 reads, "When we come into our kingdom, it will be undesirable for us that there should exist any other religion than ours, of the one God, with whom our destiny is bound up by our position as the chosen people, and through whom our same destiny is united with the destinies of the world. We must therefore sweep away all other forms of belief. If this gives birth to the atheists whom we see today, it will not, being only a transitional stage, interfere with our views, but will serve as a warning for those generations which will hearken to our preaching of the religion of Moses, that, by its stable and thoroughly elaborated system, has brought all the peoples of the world into subjection to us. Our philosophers will discuss all the shortcomings of the various beliefs of the non-Jew. Protocol 17 reads, "We have long past taken care to discredit the priesthood of the Goyim, and thereby to ruin their mission on earth, which in these days might still be a great hindrance to us. Day by day, its influence on the peoples of the world is falling lower. Freedom of conscience has been declared everywhere, so that now only years divide us from the moment of the complete wrecking of that Christian religion. As to other religions, we shall have still less difficulty in dealing with them, but it would be premature to speak of this now. We shall set clericalism and clericals into such narrow frames as to make their influence move in retrogressive proportion to its former progress. But, in the meantime, while we are re-educating youth in new traditional religions and afterwards in ours, we shall not overtly lay a finger on existing churches, but we shall fight against them by criticism calculated to produce schism. What more do you need to see that the primary aim of Jews is to destroy Christianity? Low IQ morons fall for their bait and attack Christianity. Let us be very clear, if you help the Jew in their attack on white civilization, you are an agent of the Jew and an enemy of the race. Period. Who tried to push the whole Jewish Jesus narrative? Jews. Who tried to push the Jewish roots of Christianity? Jews. Stupid white traitors act as their parrots and claim that the only religion which condemns the Jews religiously and racially is somehow Jewish. The most mentally retarded among us claim it is a Jewish psychological operation. Again, one does not have to be a Christian to be pro-white or to not attack Christianity. Alfred Rosenberg was not a Christian at all, yet he defended Christ as Nordic against Jewish claims. He was of their ilk. Nothing is more Jewish than attacking Jesus. Modern Christianity is indeed rotten. There are many legitimate criticisms of modern Christian expression. The Jews have corrupted every single institution and area of life with lies and leftist poison. Christianity is no different. To do the Jews' bidding by giving legitimization to their twisting of Christianity, by attacking the Christian religion itself because of these perversions, is to aid and abet the Jews. That makes one a race traitor, especially when you know there are racial kin who vehemently disagree with the Jewish perversion of Christianity. The virtues and values which white nationalism extol are based in Christianity. Some can be found in secular Greek or Roman philosophy, but it is the Christian religion where the vast majority of our people received these values. Sobriety, rejection of materialism and greed, rejection of homosexuality, equal rights of all racial kin, the right to the fruits of one's labor, rejection of usury, seeing a fellow white man on the other side of a border as your brother, rejection of hookup culture, all these things are Christian expressions and only exist in neo-pagans and atheists because they are culturally Christian. Non-Christian Europe was rife with homosexuality, greed, debauchery, substance abuse, and oppression of so-called lower whites in society. The Jews want that, which is why they seek Christianity's destruction. Weakening Christianity strengthens those cancers. Race first is supposed to be based upon racial love and loyalty. As white nationalists, we are to love our race. Being anti-Christian is a blatant violation of race first. Being disrespectful is not love. The majority of our race are Christians, even if they're not particularly religious. Hell, the majority of the pro-white movement is Christian. The most consequential groups within the movement, from the Aryan nations to the Klan, have been Christian. Attacking Christianity is disrespectful to them, and a movement which does so is destined for failure. Not only do the average Christians see those attacks for the leftist cancer they are, but they will not be drawn to a cause which is disrespectful to their cultural identity. That's exactly what the Jew wants, to keep people away from white nationalism. When you attack Christianity, you are helping the Jew. Helping the Jew is anti-white. Helping the Jew is treason. It does not matter how much one hates other races or proclaims that whites are superior. That does not make him loyal to the race or pro-white. A loyal pro-white person is one who loves the white race and wants to see it healthy. Having disdain for your racial kin is not pro-white. Attacking what they hold sacred is not pro-white. Attacking the foundation and glue of white civilization for centuries is not pro-white. Adopting Jewish attacks and mentality is not pro-white. Those are the attitudes of traitors. Hold whatever beliefs you want and promote whatever religion you want, but if you attack Christianity, you are a race traitor and doing the bidding of the Jew just as much as Zionist Christians are. Don't be a race traitor, love your racial kin, and shut the fuck up with attacks on Christianity like a filthy Jew.
I played that video is I want you to see how slick these guys are with the Hungarian dialectic. You know, if Albert Pike was a member and founding member of the KKK, and the reason that Israel exists nowadays is the Third Reich, even if the man that made that video meant it in a promising way, what it does is it allows them to attack you, call you anti-Semitic, racist, whatever, when the Nazi symbol itself is inside the star of Moloch and some of their symbols, and all of it's about the secret societies creating slowly, inch by inch, the doctrine of Lucifer and destroying Christianity. So that's why you got to be careful what you watch and what you're listening to. Anyway, that's my take and my 2 cents on the video. Other than that, there is truth in there. But at the same time, if the truth is something that could be used against you and consider you a hater, calling good evil, evil good, then it's something, if it doesn't come biblically, then no, steer clear from it. Anyway, now I'm getting into Revelation chapter 8 before I get a discussion. And when he had opened, before I start this, remember in your head, chemtrails and nanotechnology as I read this. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about a space of a half an hour. And remember fallen angels. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and them which were given seven trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings. And notice that said into the earth and earthquakes. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and there were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded and it was a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and a third part of the sea became blood. And a third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, chemtrails, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and a third part of the sun was smitten, chemtrails, and a third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And behold, I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpets and the three angels which are yet to sound. Now, I could be off a little bit, but considering the nanotechnology is being chemtrailed down on us, it's being put in our food and water, I consider that the wormwood. Now, I could be wrong, you know, but I don't think I am on this, considering after it grows up, it becomes Leviathan. What a lot of people don't realize, because they're hearing the graphene oxide, they're hearing about the nanotechnology, they're hearing about it underneath the skin, but what they don't realize is that the first thing they did with the 5G is hack the insect population. And if I can ever get into my old Gmail, I'll be able to show you photos of proof of that, where I actually throw a napkin drunk one night after attacks of this stuff. I throw it into a spider web, and I'm looking at the spider web, and instead of it tossing the napkin out of its web or running away from it, the spider actually goes up to the napkin and starts webbing it up. So I get my camera out and I start filming it. So I noticed that there's this water bug that's being gangster, like trying to get me to back off from the spider's net web. And I'm like, what are you doing, water bug? You're supposed to run from me, not come up near me. Anyway, I decided to take the camera further down into the web. And I'm seeing the web move back and forth, calling what I refer to as griffers, creating something out of the web that isn't the spider, isn't the insect water bug, and it's the only thing I can call is meaning graphene oxide bioweapon, meaning the spider webs and the smart web chemtrail dust is combining, and they're using the spider as a weapon against us. And that'll be it for this portion.
Hey guys, did you know that in Revelation 6 verse 2 it says that there's a man that comes on a white horse, he's wearing a crown, and he's carrying a bow, and he comes to conquer and conquering. Conquering and to conquer. Did you know that crown is Stephanos in the Greek, but in the Latin it is corona. It's a synonym to corona. So this writer is wearing a corona. And the bow, guess what the word is in the Greek? It's toxin. I'm not kidding, toxin. It's only used one place in all of Scripture, and that's it. And it indicates that this writer who's wearing the corona is coming and shooting poisonous arrows. When you combine those two words with the fact that mark, shiragma, comes from karasso, which means to sharpen to a point, you have a writer coming to deliver the mark of the beast under corona by a toxin with a needle with a sharp point. 1 + 1 = 2, guys. Start looking this stuff up. God bless you and stay safe.
On my own, just an idea that I had, and I want to give. I'm gonna call them the End Times News Awards. And one of them's going to Jesus is Lord to Mitch and Mary because they put out a video where they were both a little upset. I don't know who upset them in the comments, but nevertheless, I wanted to put it out there that there are Christians out there that you are reaching that need your uplifting messages, that you're doing a great job. And I hope this don't offend you that I put you on blast a little bit. Just letting you know from across continents that we love you and you are always in my prayers. Next one I'm going to mention is Dean Odell, because Dean Odell has got teachings that has actually even helped me prepare for this evil day. I recommend anyone to start listening to his teachings. He's definitely walking in the spirit. Number 3 I'm going to mention is on Rumble. It's called The Decode, and this is by Sarah Israel. She also's got a Substack, and she does interviews with those that have taken the injections that are actually experiencing some horrific hallucinations, and may be a good study for one, and hopefully the Lord will bless her work. And last but certainly not least, I want to put a shout out to Understanding the Lies. He puts a lot of shorts and a lot of good clips that I actually use in my videos out there. And, basically what this is an experiment of mine to see about uplifting us, to break spells, to break the strongholds, to actually say some positive things, to feed each other instead of always just looking at the negative and thinking we're going to get positive. It's not going to work like that.
To himself by first determining his outside, then afterwards the fundamentals. One must know oneself before knowing anything else. It is only after a person has thus understood himself inwardly and his soul's commitment that life acquires peace and significance. But this does not mean one gets a free pass to merely exist as he is. Merely existing is like a peasant who lies in the wagon sleeping, while the horses walk and shift for themselves. For true existence has to do with the one who drives. And if one is to do the driving, he must first understand what he is driving toward. This requires heart and a singular pure idea placed within it. There is a figure of speech that compares the heart to the sea. And why is this so? Simply for the reason that the depth of the sea determines its purity, and its purity determines its transparency. Since the sea is pure only when it is deep, and it is transparent only when it is pure, as soon as it is impure, it is no longer deep but only surface water. And as soon as it is only surface water, it is not transparent. When, on the contrary, it is deeply and transparently pure, then it is all of one consistency, no matter how long one looks at it. On this account we compare the heart with the sea, because its purity lies in its constancy of depth and transparency. No storm may perturb it, no sudden gust of wind may stir its surface, no drowsy fog may sprawl out over it, no doubtful movement may stir within it, and no swift-moving cloud may darken it. Rather, it must lie calm, transparent to its depths. If you should see it so, and contemplate the purity of it, you will be drawn upwards. Just as the sea, when it lies calm and deeply transparent, yearns for higher things, so may the pure heart, when it is calm and deeply transparent, yearn for something greater than itself. This greater good for we Europeans is our historical culture, its beliefs, identity, and peoples. This is what our hearts must now drive towards, like charioteers with one singular will. And when we finally make our charge, the fire from our eyes and within our hearts will blot out the sun.
We're actually watching a microscope of the poisoning going on, and anybody eating candy made by these corporations, any of their food, understand, you'll see her on Decode. She goes into Job. I've never heard anybody that can decipher Job the way she does, but it talks about these cockatrice eggs that grow in your stomach, become Leviathan, take you over, and make you fight against God. I mean, that's my whole conclusion to it. But as you can see inside this peanut, here you go. And I look like a maggot, but I'd say that's probably something related to the graphene oxide gripper weapon, because I've found it in Subway's chicken, Burger King's fries, and many things under the microscope myself. However, that's not exactly why I'm making this video. I figure let you watch this gross stuff while I do something I hate to do, but I'm so poor that I have to ask to see if you guys can help support my work a little bit. Other than that, I'm grateful that I actually got one person who sent me something, and like I say, I don't really want anything in this world. I just want to be able to make it to my Heavenly Father and try and train for this evil day. And I hope more of you guys will get involved in the truther community and making videos yourself and getting involved. This isn't about making money. I got over 200 documentaries, and it's cost me money. I've never made a dime. I love you guys. May the Lord look over you, your family, and bless everybody that you talk to. God bless you. Stay strong.